Good morning, park managers, and welcome back to the High Pine Zoo. Today we're going to be adding a new enclosure. Well, we've got two carnivores, so about right we should have a herbivore enclosure. So that's what we're going to start off with, is making ourselves a nice little herbivore enclosure. And I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, but we're going to keep up with the theme that we're going to use the water as a sort of like natural barrier, only using some of the invisible fences from the biosim pack to make sure they don't actually cross the river itself. And yeah, we'll go from that point. I think I might just try and make it look somewhat interesting, try and keep it like a multi sort of like viewing gallery area. I don't know why I did it like that. I found a better way of doing this. So it's just, I build that like so, and then I square it off like that, and then I can connect the corners like that, making it somewhat an interesting kind of viewing area like that. And then we'll just delete those. I don't know why I don't always do this. I always, like, for some reason, I always try and freehand it. I don't know why. Because obviously it makes more sense to do it the way I just did it then, as that was a lot easier. And we'll curve it off like so. So then there's just this rounded off area. Just makes it look a bit different and makes it interesting. So we'll now do the barrier for the invisible barrier, as it were, so that they don't cross the river. We're kind of pretending that dinosaurs don't swim. Well, I mean, technically they don't swim in this game, they just sort of walk across it, but we're just going to pretend that they are too scared of the fast-flowing river that looks very still. And make it that bit of storytelling in that kind of sense when making this enclosure. We're going to carry on using the research facility items that we said we're going to keep doing with this park mainly, because the idea behind this park, if you're new to this little series, is that it used to be just an area where they caught all the wild dinosaurs and kept them in. They kind of researched on them in the sense of just seeing what makes them tick and if they are surviving quite well, and also just to keep them out of the general public's area. And then obviously, just in my sort of storyline, is they ran out of funding for it, and the way that they're going to carry on with the funding for this is by having it as an open park. So they've tried converting it so it looks pretty and carries on with that kind of open park sort of vibe. We'll do it like that. And then we'll kind of, there we go, connect that up like so, and then we're going to go and decorate these now so it fits in with the rest of the park. And I don't know why, you know, I've been playing this game for, what is it, like nearly 3 years old now, this game. I've been playing it every, like, I won't say every day, but like every week at least since its release. And yeah, still I don't remember where I'm going through the actual I don't remember where I'm going through the actual menus. I don't know why. So it's about that far away so I can build it. So we want it about here. Just like there. Bada bing bada boom. And we're gonna do this for every single one just because I enjoy the look. And the look is just quite nice. Like it does feel like, oh, it was like a sort of research kind of like holding facility area, and then they've gone out the way to make it pretty and almost like it's meant to be for the general public rather than just scientists and nature reserve people. Conservationists would probably be the word I'd use. Nature reserve people. I suppose they are working on a nature reserve, but yeah. Conservationists, right. Try and line everything up nice and neat, and then we'll just go around decorating it with a few different plants. And you know, that's a beautiful thing about the park when you're making your own. Like, you can make it nice and simple, or you can just add your own storyline to it, and that's the reason to like make that the reason why you've made it the way you have. Because like I said, like many times in like live streams and various other videos, the thing that you get out of this game is what you put into it, in the sense of like decoration and things like that. Right, so I feel like we'll have trees here just slightly breaking up the gap, like so. You don't have to add all these like crazy things. Like I say, you can make it as simple or as easy as you want, but I do enjoy just adding my own kind of storyline. Yeah, I feel like looks quite nice. But then, why does it feel like? Nah, we won't do that. We won't do that. We'll use a smaller one. Use a smaller one like this. Yeah, looks a bit better. This is the thing, like, as well, you don't have to be neat. I mean, you can be neat, you can spend ages slowly lining everything up, but again, like, I honestly don't know, is one side longer than the other? Like, I feel like it's centre on the path, but you see what I mean? Like, I could spend ages just going back and forth, but then I feel like that almost takes the fun out of the game for you, going back and forth, trying to fix any of the issues that you may have made. We'll put in random rotation. We'll just fill out the gaps with these fluffy bushes. I really do like these giant pom-poms. They're just a really nice looking plant. And then maybe, I always find these quite decorational trees in my eyes. Like, I know what it's meant to be, I just see it as like a beautiful decoration. Oh, maybe do it like, yeah, okay. Bit like that. Bit like that. So that's kind of our viewing area all decorated up nicely. We're going to add a random brush, just add some trees closer to the path. We want to keep that kind of sort of forest feel. Like, in my eyes, I'm kind of thinking like Centre Parks, in a sense, when it comes to like the nature side of things. As well, I need a offshore, well, I don't need, I like placing offshore areas. When it comes to like an offshore area, it's purely there for just for storytelling, because when you're maintaining an enclosure, you don't really want your keepers to be in the same area as them. We'll probably keep it so it's the same as down here as well, so we'll do it like so. So you'd store your dinosaurs in here, or if it's a real zoo, your animals, and then your zookeepers can safely then go into the enclosure, clean up any dino or animal muck, and they'll be all safe and segregated from one another, and not in a dangerous sort of situation. Now, I am planning on keeping all these enclosures similar looking to the environments. I don't want to do anything crazy. So we've got the formula. I get so tongue twisted so easy. This is the thing when, like, see, I'm quite enjoying doing these videos the way I am doing them right now. It's been quite a fun way of doing it, but you can see how much of a klutz I am. So when I'm actually making these videos in my old kind of format, where it's like a speed build with a voiceover rather than me playing and talking at the same time, I have chances to cut out all the klutzy stuff. And I am a klutz. So what could be originally a 40-minute long video, I cut down into a very narrow video, because it is literally just me being a complete klutz for that entire time. It takes many a voiceover to get it right, and that's the bit you don't usually see. So that's going to be our staff only area, so let's try and kind of decorate it up so our guests know. I mean, they'll know anyways because of the coding, but a bit of storytelling again, like so. Do that, so there's a bit of barrier, maybe have a sort of security camera sort of complex knocking around, so then they know, like, oh, they're keeping an eye on us, we can't be naughty. I know this says helicopter, but we're going to pretend that says, like, you know, staff only sign. And again, a bit of storytelling. If you have mods, you can easily, like, have stuff like that already, but I'm not using mods just yet. I still have way too much fun without mods. I kind of want a few modded creatures, like lead Sickfees would be a beaut to have in the game, so I know there is a mod for that. So that's probably one you might see in the future. And let's try and decide what kind of herbivore do I want in that enclosure. I'd say it's a medium-sized enclosure, so I don't want something like I don't want a sauropod in there. I'm trying to think as well, what kind of creatures do I not use all the time? I noticed there's like a specific 10 that I always tend to use when it comes to herbivores, and it's trying to pick one where it's not that. It really is. I'm trying to think. I mean, I hardly ever use Tisindus. We're just gonna call it that. Like, this is usually as well, like, I sometimes, right at the bat, I could say like Styracosaurus, but if I don't say that often, like this troublemaker right here, which you can't see if you're watching this on TikTok, so I probably should try and say it, where it's Tisinatosaurus. Yeah, honestly, when I'm doing voiceovers again, I sometimes have to practice the pronunciation of the dinosaur, so I get it right. Otherwise, if it's something I've not said loads, then it's obviously going to be horrendously wrong. I think for this one we'll use Pentriceratops, because I do love it. In my eyes, I see it as like the horse, the Triceratops horse, because it has those really long legs, has quite a high structure, so I kind of see it as like almost like a field-like creature. We're going to make it so there's two different patterns. We'll probably have, so it's a bit like almost like sexual dimorphism change here. We'll speed things along so we can get them cooking faster. We'll have the black ones as our females with the black stripes, and then we'll have the blue one as our males, and we'll have two of those, and we'll have those cooking like so in there, and probably go and double check what they eat. Ground leaf. Ground leaf is probably not the best choice of food, because like let's say I use this one, it's just, that's a very tropical looking plant, and like loads of, yeah. The one thing I hope that there is in the next one, that we get a choice between this and also the herbivore feeders. Like, I'm not saying that I don't like this, it's really cool, but when you're trying to go for a certain look, it's kind of frustrating in a sense, especially when obviously I know in Sandbox you can turn off eating and things like that, but I enjoy watching the dinosaurs eat. So I think we're going to make this ever so slightly a sparse redwood, like they've kind of planted some redwood trees here and there. I think that's the vibe we're going to go for, because that is, let me double check, that is leafy. It's leafy, so we can use that one. And then we'll just I'll raise up those areas, and then we'll have, like in the bits where there's none of this, we'll have sand, so then it kind of looks like it's almost like a flood blank. So if the river is high, then what happens is they have like these little islands that have been like sort of shaped up. I think that's the kind of vibe I'm going to go for here. And I think I've done a similar enclosure to this. So it's basically, essentially this is almost going to be like a flood bank. So we'll use sand. We'll make sure we'll cover this side of the river with it, so then it definitely carries on with that sort of theme. And use this like so. I mean, you can technically make it so then, like, in theory, in your head, your storytelling is, it doesn't flood as much anymore, it's more swampy, marshy, but obviously all the silt and things have washed up, and that's what mainly covers around the planted areas, and it doesn't flood too high over the guest barrier. Let's put it that way. Be a bit awkward if your zoo's flooded, because then your guests can't get around as easily. So we'll have it like that. Maybe just sort of continue with it like there, and then we'll raise the ground ever so slightly here, ever so slightly here, because I don't want to interrupt my mustard's enclosure too much. And I think we'll just do the odd brush of this plant here, just so we get a good mixture of things. So that go in with the rest of the vibe of the park, and you can just say, like, the story is that they wanted this kind of look. They planted redwoods here, because obviously there's not much in the likes of redwoods. Are we still on random rotation? Yeah, that's right then. I do like keeping it on random rotation because then not everything looks the same. So when you're looking at it, it's not completely the same. If that makes sense. It probably does make sense. It probably does. I can only hope. As you can probably tell, if you don't watch the live streams or anything like that, but you can tell from this video, and I've done 2 other videos like this now where I'm just recording as I'm playing. I ramble a lot. I really do. I'm a bit crazy. It's probably the best way of saying it. I can easily talk to myself about what I'm doing for a very long time. And it probably gives me a slight crazy appearance, I guess. And I don't know, there's many people that could talk just to themselves for a very long time. But I don't want to overcrowd this with plants, mainly because I want to keep it so we can see them quite easily. Maybe they add the odd pom-pom bush. Because honestly, I really do love these. They're such a cool, like, looking plant. And I kind of don't block up too much of the view. So obviously these are going to have ceratops in them, so they're going to like phase through these quite a bit, which can slightly break the immersion ever so slightly, but not too much. Rock wise, I think we'll go for the taiga. We'll add a few of them here and there, not too much in this one, with it being like sort of like a floodplain, because a lot of the rocks would have probably sunken into the dirt a bit. So I don't want to go overboard. I'll keep the rocks to the like hilly areas where obviously the water's not rising higher above. Plant there. Put that there. Connect that with that, and sort of wrap around this redwood here with these rocks. Like it's kind of like grown through it once it's like broken down and whatnot. Because the reason why I like doing like clusters of rocks near each other, it looks like one big boulder has kind of like smashed up into like several little ones over time, so you can make it as the keepers decorated it that way, because that's just the style they like. Things like that really is the way I kind of like place my rocks down. I just feel like it adds to kind of like a sort of storytelling style vibe, in the sense of when it comes to enclosure telling, like scene story. There is a word for it, and it's not coming to the front of my head right now. Probably after recording that kind of thing will come to me, but yeah. just how things roll. Right, so that's our enclosure done, so we'll fly over our Pentriceratops over now. Release those via airlift, and we'll throw them in. I'm really happy with the way this looks. I might keep it nearly plain inside of the do I keep it plain inside the off-show area? Because I feel like it needs something, I guess. Do I need it? Do I need to add more stuff to it? Because like I like the idea of it being plain. We'll do a bit on the outside. Let's cut it to that for now. I won't say we need a watchtower. It's not. Maybe we'll give them not a mega fancy one watchtower, so the keepers can just sort of go over here, look, check in on them, make sure that they're okay. Maybe add, probably not inside the enclosure, but we'll add some lighting to the outside. So then when the keepers are looking in, they can have a good view, especially if it's at night time and they want to kind of like health check them. That's the kind of vibe we'll go for with that. Like so. Then as well, maybe have like a... trying to see it. I'm being blind. I'm completely blind right now. Where? That's what I was after. We'll place this here so then the keepers have like, they can keep their goods, well not goods, but stuff that they need for cleaning the enclosure in that bit. Have it a bit on dirt, so then it's kind of just mixed up a bit, so it's not like, it's like a prefab, it's not major. And yeah, I mean, we'll add a little bit. We'll add a little bit in here because we need to actually bring them into this zone. So we'll have a little pond here. We'll put a bit of stone on it so it looks like it's man-made. Maybe a little bit of sand around it as well, just to layer it up a bit. Oh, go on, Cabot.
5 horns, 1 on the nose, 2 on the brows, and 2 extending out from its jugular bones. It seems excessive, but maybe it's necessary.
Honestly, Cabot's one of my favourite characters in this game. I hope we see Cabot in the next one. But that's our Pentriceratops enclosure, quite nicely done. We'll go back to this bit. I want them to stay in here. Maybe add a bit of the local plantage in here. I don't want it in the water though. I don't want it in the water. Like that. There we go. I think that looks out quite nice. And yeah. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, it's a little bit different to what I usually do. I've definitely enjoyed making this video, and what I'll do is I'll get while I say fly in, I'll get some shots of the actual enclosure with them in it, and I'll have a little bit of a montage at the end. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this and it's given you a little bit of inspiration for your builds, and as always, till next time, I'll see you later.